If you didn't need any more attention, you've got it now. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Cerid. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Do you know what? I've been for a beard trim this morning, so I'm feeling pretty fresh.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the day. Nice and sunny here. How is it in Duckingfield?
Oh, it's very sunny. It's absolutely boiling in the office, to be fair. But yeah, it's a beautiful day.
So let's do some introductions. Welcome everybody to Let's Talk About Networking. This is a weekly feature that we do in the northwest of the country. Currently, we are in Greater Manchester East, but sometimes we go over to Kirklees and Calderdale. Sometimes we're in Lancashire. But right now, we are talking to a networking superstar by all accounts. And what I've heard, please, Cerid, introduce yourself. Tell us exactly who you are and exactly what you do.
So I'm Cerid Grimshaw. I work at Zentek Network Solutions. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing in the company, but I do a lot more than just the sales and marketing. It's the inner runnings of the company as well as networking. So yes, that's me.
So tell us, I suppose, how have you got to this point then? Tell us about how have you got to be with Zentek? What's your history like? Did you always think actually this is the business that I want to be in right from school and college? Take us right back.
Yeah, well, not at all. Not at all. I was a chef, would you believe, for 12 years in the chefing industry, working 60 hours a week, long hours. But then obviously family complications, family got ill. I had to become a carer at home. And it got to a point where obviously after my nan passed, I then wanted to come back into the workplace, but I didn't want to go back to chefing. I wanted to be able to be close to home. And Mike, who was a very good friend, my business partner, Mike Brooks, I've known him for years, since we were in brass bands together, from being about 7. And he's an IT guru, should we say. And he said, well, come on board with me. I'd like to grow the company. And he had this faith and belief in me that I would help the company grow with my personality, being a complete extrovert and with how chatty I am, and I never shut up. And then, I've been on board with Mike now. Only 6 months officially. I've been in and out with him over the years, but now full time officially with the business. And it's gone from strength to strength with the two of us. It's got a good working relationship.
I've heard some very good stuff. I want to just go back to kind of your chefing days though. What kind of attracted you to being a chef and being in a kitchen though? What was that about?
That was from my nana. My nan was she was a caterer. She used to make cakes, and she from being a little girl, I was baking in the kitchen with my nan. So that's where that's come from, and I just loved cooking. So now actually I use cooking as part of my downtime. I enjoy baking and cooking.
Interesting. I suppose the last 12 months you've probably done quite a lot of that, because how have you separated? Have you been in the office? Have you been working from home for a certain amount of time? How's been that split of finishing work and then doing the things that you love, like cooking?
Yeah, so I've been, we did some working from home, been in and out of the office. Obviously I've been baking a lot. I'm 3 stone heavier through lockdown for it. So I need to go back to the gym now that they're open. But yeah, we did some working from home, but then we've just moved into the new office. Thank you to BNI. Thank you to BNI Networking. And yeah, so now we're in the office full time. I've been for since the second lockdown. The first lockdown, mainly working from home. Doing a lot of baking, whereas now not so much. So that will do my diet the world of good.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, is it far from where you are at home? Can you run in? Can you walk in?
Oh, I'm 10 minutes from home in the car.
Easy
run, but that'd be pushing it.
So, right, well, Zentek, it's a new venture for you. So tell us a bit about the company.
Yeah, so it was established by Mike in 2015. Obviously, I've like I say, I've popped in and out from time to time to help him out. We've actually just incorporated from him since March. Officially become the director of the company with Mike since March. Based in Duckingfield, Cheshire, Northwest, but we cover the whole of the country. And we provide network solutions to businesses, schools, and people working from home. So yeah, that's the basic. That we offer IT support, remote and on site. all the basic tech stuff that tech companies do, data recovery, disaster recovery. We cover holidays for one-man bands in IT. So if they ever want to go on a cruise or on a holiday or play more golf, then we can cover their clients for them without the fear that we're going to steal their clients. We won't ever do that. We'll look after their clients for them. Do project management. We can write policies and procedures for other IT companies. We do network cabling, set up Office 365 emails. I think everything, but we try and have a no jargon approach.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so obviously Mike is the technical one. I am not the technical one. It's not the industry that I've grown up in and that I know inside out. So we'll come across clients that have little IT knowledge. And when Mike goes in and tries to talk to them, it can kind of, they have that glazed over look in their eyes because, you know, they've turned off. They don't have a clue what he's talking about. So then I come in and I will kind of interpret what Mike said into non-jargon, normal, everyday talk.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So why do you love it then? Why did you think actually this is the opportunity that because you ought to have been short of things to do, of offers or things that you wanted to do. So why IT then?
Well, number one, Mike is a very good friend. And this is why it's a great working relationship, because I've got his back and he has got mine, and we want each other to both succeed. So that is number one. I wanted to help Mike as a very long-term friend, and he wanted to help me. Then, second of all, technology is the way forward. It is the future. And if you want a secure future to provide for family, children, or even your personal lifestyle choices, whatever it is you want to do, IT is definitely the way forward. The world's moving so fast. And with COVID, we've fast-tracked about 10 years. And so people would have been working from home eventually, but it's kind of forced everyone's hand to do it right now. So it's a great industry to go into. And as a woman in tech, there's not many of us. So there's a lot of opportunities for me to have funding for training and for me to have like my Microsoft certifications fully funded as a woman in tech. So it's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah. I love that. What's the thing that when something gets landed on your desk, or a company or a project, and you think that's really up my street, that's something that I really want to get into? What's the bit that you really love in it? Is it the going out seeing customers element, the sales element, the completion of it? What's the one bit you think that's just exactly what I love doing about it?
See, mine is, it's meeting people. I'm definitely a people person. I love being on the phone, talking to people. And I'm not your typical sales. I've never had a background in sales, even though I'm the director of sales and marketing. Is that I like speaking to different people. And you find that sales, obviously based in sales, you sell yourself, not the company. And it's finding that common ground with other people in business that I love, and just going off on a tangent in conversations with them, and it ends up turning into a sale. And I love that it's definitely meeting all the different people and networking, obviously very suited to someone like myself.
That's a great segue, as they say, a great segue into suppose the next topic of conversation, because you, by your own admission, are a relative newbie to referral marketing. So just tell us about that journey up to the point of you going, actually, this is something that I want to do. How did it start? How did you get introduced to it?
So Mike was introduced to BNI, was it about 18 months ago? Okay. So he joined the BNI Royal chapter. And then when I came on board 7 months ago with the company, Mike went, well, the first thing we're doing is we're putting you into a BNI, because it's proved so successful for Mike in his personal life and as well as work life. So I went round different BNIs that didn't have IT companies in them and went to Enterprise, and I liked it there. I liked the dynamic of that group. So I thought, right, well, this is the chapter for me. So in went my application, and I got glowing references from the Royal lot. So Enterprise snapped me up, and got into BNI Enterprise, and within 6 months of being in there, I've gone from member to secretary treasurer, and now up to vice president. So
what a role! I think we were speaking off air. You know, it must be some kind of record to be doing that. I mean, how do you reflect then on your first 6 months?
wow. There's been a lot of work involved, and what I've definitely learned from BNI is you only get out of it what you do put in. It is true. Everyone says it. You one-to-ones outside of BNI, going and subbing at other chapters. Everything that you do, the more you put in, you definitely get more out. And I've found that I ring people from different areas. I sub at lots of different chapters. And by doing so, building up, it's that visibility. You build that up, credibility, visibility, and profitability. It does work if you put in the hours of time into it. And that's just proved with the roles that now that I'm VP, it's proven to have worked. So
there'll be, yeah, I suppose as a relatively new member, there may be some people watching this when you talk about, you know, the hours that you put in, and of course you're absolutely right. Whatever you do in life, whether it's business, networking, friends, family, the more you put into it, the more you're gonna get out of it. But of course, that may have crossed your mind when you were asked to be the vice president of the group. And for people watching who may not be entirely sure what all these things mean, the vice president of a group actually dictates the structure going forward and the drive behind the group and the strategy, because you know these groups are there to make money for the members. So how did you balance that thought about, well, you know, it's gonna take me a few more hours in my week or my month, as opposed to what I'm going to get out of it?
Oh, it's definitely taken up a lot more time, but it's new. The leadership team have just come in, so I will settle into the role where it won't take as much time. But at the start, there's a lot of work goes into it. But yeah, sorry, I've lost myself there.
No, it's fine. I mean, talk to us about your fellow leadership team then. So who's with you?
So we've got Steve Hewlett, who is the president, and we've got Wayne Ratcliffe, who is the secretary treasurer. But I have handpicked a very strong membership committee that have all been long-standing BNI members, very well established in their own businesses, and they do adhere to deadlines. If you ask them to do things, they will get it done. So I've got a great support network there with them. So that makes my life a lot easier as vice president. With delegating roles to them to help me run the chapter and drive it forward. I like to think I'm a very proactive person, and I'm very positive and have lots of ideas, and I have everyone's best interest at heart in my chapter and in my work life. So that's the thing to have in BNI.
What's it taught you about business, being in BNI and having these roles and things? What's it, you know, how have you used some of the skills that you've taken over the past 6 months and used them in business?
Definitely. Well, actually, we're looking to take on some, we're looking to do internships. And to be fair, we'd never employed anyone. It was just me and Mike before now. And being in BNI and having to manage a group of people are all business. That'll help me moving forward as to how to manage my staff in my business as we grow. So it's given me some great tips and like ways to run the business and to be very organised.
Good. So enterprise. Let's talk about enterprise. Let's tell us the dynamics in the group. Talk to us about kind of the size of group that you are, and maybe anybody that needs a particular, not to use the word shout out, but somebody who needs a bit of recognition.
Yes, so enterprise, and it doesn't. I don't want this to sound negative. We have now dropped to 17 members, but on that we will be going into a diamond growth plan, which is going to help the chapter to become more involved, people to participate more. And I am really up for the challenge to help grow the chapter into what my dream and my vision is of the chapter and how I want it to be a big success. So it's not negative, it's positive. We can grow. We've got a strong core of people in enterprise. A particular shout out to Matt Knott, who obviously invited me to enterprise and got me involved.
Superb beard, Matt. He's got a superb.
Great shout out to him, and he's had my back from day one. Anything I need is there. He's on the end of the phone. Any advice is straight in there. Very direct and to the point, but that's what I need. I need a Matt Knott. Also, another shout out, and I've forgotten to mention this prior. I'm not sure if you know, but we have been doing the donations appeal.
Yeah.
Which we've been running with Zentech, which was to help children gain access to technology during COVID, but we also want to carry it on now after COVID, because there's lots of children that do not have access to tech. And with the help of people in BNI, this is both Enterprise and Royal, I'd like to shout out, we've had a number of them sponsor us. So, so we've had, I just want to shout all of them out.
Please,
so
go for it.
Tristan Edwards from Rutherford Wealth. We've had Ricky Gray, who's also a new member from Raffinato Finishers. These are at Royal. We've got Paul Metcalf from Positive Energy Solutions, Kevin Greenall from MKP Construction, Andrew Bowden from Sandy Lane Service Station, and David O'Neill from Out and About Carpets, Matt Knott from Equinox, and also Chip Gray from Olympic Press. That was a lot of shout outs.
Hey, no, that's right.
They've all sponsored our appeal.
So what does the future look like then for that for the appeal? What's the next steps with it? What are you looking for?
So we're looking to set up a charity within the business, and obviously all these companies have now sponsored us to refurb the laptops that we have been donated. We're looking to continue this on after COVID to help bridge the divide with tech. So we want anyone that knows companies that are looking to upgrade their tech and any people at home that are looking to upgrade to think of us before they dispose of their old tech, and have a look in their drawers, their attics, see what they've got lying around, and just to help us keep going. Because we've been on the BBC News, and that now they've stopped promoting it. So we've gone very quiet in terms of receiving donations for the appeal. So we'd like everyone to keep their ears open. And if you hear of anyone that is upgrading, just think of us to donate their old tech too. And if anyone wants to sponsor the refurb of laptops, when we go to the schools to hand them out, we get the newspaper involved. It's a great time for photo ops for other companies to be involved with those donations appeal. And it's a good reputation for companies to have, that they give back to their communities. And that's what I would want to be known.
Love that. Brilliant. Well, we're going to put the links in the chat after this broadcast. A Facebook user, I don't know who they are. They're anonymous, but
I know who that is.
Who could that be?
That's Rebecca Maloney.
Oh, Rebecca, you were offered to drop a scone off at the doorstep. Tell us about. Do you do food deliveries as well?
We were out on a job and we weren't far from Rebecca's, and we'd been to a lovely bakery on a job, and we'd just picked up some scones, and as she said, "Oh, I love scones." So we went to get her one, but unfortunately we didn't have a fruitless scone. So yeah, we couldn't go and drop one off. But
Steve saying great work. So there we go.
I didn't know Steve had tuned in.
Well, there's probably more than you think. Looking back 6 months ago, your first networking meeting, you're probably you've been around a few, but your first meeting with Enterprise, was it as looking back, as scary as you thought? How did you reflect on kind of your first meeting and going into that Zoom room almost?
Oh, it was I was a bit overwhelmed, a bit nervous. I'd been around a few, I'd done some networking, but it's that the nerves that, are you going to say the right thing? Even now, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the best thing that I can be saying to promote the company? But yeah, it's one of those, the BNI network, in Enterprise, they support you. So even, I'm here walking the dog, thanks to Steve. But Enterprise, they've supported every decision I've made, and they've had my back. And even if it has been a car crash, I wouldn't have known, because they'll tell me I'm doing really well, and they'll give me pointers, and they'll help me along the way. But it wasn't as bad as I thought. At the first couple of meetings, I was very nervous. But yeah, I quickly settled in with the help of the chapter.
Love that. And there were people watching this who have maybe never even thought about networking, whether it's BNI or any other networking opportunity. Yeah. What advice would you give them if they're thinking, I want to build my business, but I'm just not quite sure how it all works, how it fits together?
Oh, go for it. I'd tell you to just jump in at the deep end. That's what I did. It's sink or swim time. And the only way you can grow is to throw yourself in there. You can always give it a try. You can visit chapters. You can visit the networking events. and see if it is for you first. And there's plenty of us in BNI for people to talk to about it. And I can just say that it definitely works. We are now in 2 chapters. And like I say, due to being in BNI, we've now moved into a larger office space.
Yeah.
It really does work, and you will get out of it what you do put in. I'd tell everyone to just go for it. You can't change it if you don't try, so give it a go.
No, absolutely right. And what does the future look like for Zentech then?
Oh, amazing. We've things are moving really fast. We've just been approved to be Microsoft refurbisher as of yesterday. Microsoft contacted us directly, which we had the director of education on Zoom yesterday. It was a great achievement. And yeah, we've been approved to use the latest software for data forensics for courts, for solicitors to use. So things are moving forward fast, and we're partnering with lots more companies to be able. We are already partnered with a number of companies to procure hardware and things, but now people are starting to contact us, and we're starting to be known in the wider community. And I think that was down to the donations appeal, if I'm honest, that it got out there and got us talked about. And BNI, we're being talked about. I will ring other people in BNI and they'll go, "Oh yes, we've heard of you." I'm like, "Oh right, that's all good, I hope." They're like, "Yeah, fantastic reviews." So it's looking good. The future's looking bright, definitely.
And how can people get in touch with you?
Right, so we have our website, www.zentechns or networksolutions.co.uk. We have our phone number is 0161 359 3986. You can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also find us through the BNI regional websites. We are on both of those as well. How else? I think that's about it, really.
Yeah,
there's plenty of ways to contact us.
Yeah, LinkedIn, all that. You're all over it, aren't you? I know that. Okay, I suppose my last question is, what's the rest of the day looking like for you?
After this, right, so we're getting some donations ready to hand out to a family that is desperately in need. They need 5 laptops for their 5 children. So we're getting those ready today, and we are fixing actually Steve Hewlett's laptop. He's been waiting for that a while as we've been moving offices. But yeah, we're going to be in lots of talks with different refurbing companies since we became a third-party refurb yesterday. Great. So we're going to be ringing around those for the rest of today and finding out what deals we can get on Microsoft licenses.
Love it. Love it. Now, you may be, for our viewers, you may be watching this live, you may be watching it on playback, and you're thinking, yeah, I want to build my business. I want, I don't know how to do it. I'm doing a lot on social media and I'm getting some traction, but, relationships and networking is a really good, wholesome way to build your business. I say this every week. If you think, I want to know a little bit more, what I would suggest is get your camera out on your phone, scan that code up here somewhere, wherever it is, scan that, there, right above your head, scan that code or put a comment in the chat. Someone will be in touch. They'll get you invited down to a meeting. And you know what? Just see how it goes. That's how we all started. We just saw how it went. So thank you very, very much for your time. Cerid, wonderful. And you know what? 25 minutes goes by very, very quickly.
There we go. Thank you for having me this morning. It's been a pleasure. Sorry, this afternoon. We're on afternoon now.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we will see you all this time next